So, welcome back. We are now on the other trail, and that is, we are now heading into Cucamonga Wilderness along the Icehouse Trail. As you recall, last week we were on the Baldy Trail, Register Ridge to be precise. As you can tell, today there's not as much traffic as there was last time, but that's just because it is not the weekend. There have been a few people already here, so that's pretty good. So let's go ahead and get started. Now here, I thought I'd tell you, my goal was to make it up to the saddle, and once we're at the saddle, we will see where that takes us. Probably we will go up to Ontario. So that's the goal, just because it seems the most likely of all of them. So we'll see if we make it to Ontario. We might, if we feel crazy enough, head up to Cucamonga, although that's less likely. So let's go ahead and get our hiking started. We've got a long day ahead of us. Well, a cold morning at least, but I brought my the shoes that are still a little too tight. I actually ordered the slightly larger pair. I said I like those shoes. On the way up, they're not a problem. On the way back down, might be a little bit. So I got my sandals. Some of you may be like, well, that just sounds downright dumb. I know. But as I said, the problem's not that big. If it is, you'll get to know about it. Now here's interesting. There's a little bit of snow already at this elevation. So that, look up there. So we'll see. But I see a little bit, very tiny sprinkling. Whereas if you recall, the other one was 7,000 feet? So I'll keep you informed. So we're at the 1 mile mark, and that's about 582 ascend, 16 descent. That is in 28:20. And as you can tell, the snow is already here. These trails have more snow. So as a matter of fact, some of this snow is a little wet and slippery. So I'm gonna test it for a little more, maybe for the next mile, see how bad it gets. If so, then I got my micro spikes, so I can put those on. As far as people coming on the trail, there's been a few, but almost everybody who I've seen just came to enjoy the stream and stayed behind, so I don't expect that many people coming through. Chapman Trail. You know what? Let's do it. Honestly, I've never done Chapman Trail. As I understand, it's going to connect me back to the Icehouse Trail anyway. So, what better time to start a new trail? I know that seems kind of unwise, but here, enjoy the snow over there. I guess the big reason I thought I'd take it is just because it doesn't look too snowy. So, and if I'm not mistaken, it's about a mile and a half, but it doesn't really add much to my trail. I think it's going to add like a third of a mile. So we'll see. I'll compare it as I share with you in these videos. These are my subjective impressions and opinions, and some of them will be wrong. As a matter of fact, a lot of things I say right now will be wrong. You don't want to take everything that I'm saying as gospel. But honestly, so far, this trail looks better than the Icehouse trail. Look, no more snow. I've actually always wanted to take this little trail, but at the same time, there's can I call it? Yeah, it is lazy. There's this lazy part of me that's like, I don't want to add any more. The thing is, it feels like I'm going to add more distance. But that doesn't make sense because there are times when you've seen me that I'll just go to one peak and then I get this wild hair and I decide to go to another peak. So, I don't know. Inconsistent human. I think today, just the curiosity of trying out this minor deviation. As I said, it's not like I'm going around another mountain or something. Like around San Gabriel Peak, there's 2 routes around one of the minor peaks. And when you're feeling adventurous, you can take one route. Feeling you can take the other route. Or do like me and take one going and one returning. Yeah. See? Looks a lot nicer. Nicer insofar as the slippery snow isn't here anymore. As you can tell, the weather, I haven't shared. Weather is about 34. So, just a tad above freezing. At least it was when I left. That's what I should say. Maybe here's 30. No, it's still about 34 because the sun's coming out. And I've already been on the hike for 23 minutes. So, but see, it's so interesting. This higher trail has almost no snow, whereas the one down there, you can see the snow over there. Oops. That's the gimbal going crazy. Sorry about that. There we go. See? The trail down there, you can see some snow there. At least more. Not that there's no snow. See? There is snow. And there's the 1 mile marker at 1.29. Oh no. See this is that slippery snow that I was telling you about. This isn't that bad actually. When I saw it at a distance, I thought, no, the other one actually looked worse that I was passing. I can deal with this. This is just powder that's been a little compactified. No, the other one was like icy. So this is better. Here's the lesson from yesterday. These guys, don't touch them. I was like, oh, I'll be curious and just touch it. And it punctured my finger. It didn't do it that much, so I didn't even think about it. But by the time I'd finished the hike, I was, my finger had gotten a little red. Oh, there's people up there. I wonder, does this trail zigzag up there? Yeah, I know, that's dumb. I mean, at least this was the one. Yeah, these guys. I mean, it is obvious, and there's those of you who are careful, who are like, you know, face palm, shake my head. No shit, you shouldn't be touching stuff like that. It's obvious. You can see the little pointy points on them. Yeah. Yeah, but, you know, I was that little kid who was always a little too curious. I've made it to my age, so it hasn't seemed to have killed me yet. Little curiosity is good. Yeah, I got a little bit of a infection. But as soon as I got back, I noticed my finger was starting to swell. So I got a couple of antibiotics, washed it, one set of antibiotics. And in about 8 hours, I put another set of antibiotics. It took about 24 hours, but yeah, I got rid of this is my, if you can tell which finger was infected, you win a prize. This is a nice little trail. It even seems nicer than the other one. Why am I not doing this one more often? Okay, so we are at 2.02 miles. That is 10:18 ascent, 16 descent, and that's elapsed 51:12. So this Chapman trail is nice. At least right now in the snow, it feels better than the other trail. Although, as you can tell, there are parts that are starting to get snowier, which, duh. That's obvious as we get higher, but still, this is a nice little trail. I like it. So, at least this way, we get to try a slightly different trail without. See, I normally know that I should not be trying new trails in the snow, but this was the reason why I said, I'll make an exception, and that is, I felt that I was low enough. Look, on that side, that's the thing is, right now it's hard for me to see which direction I'm facing, but my guess is that this is the south-facing slope, because there's the sun. So that's why there was, but looks like it was a good decision, because, as I said, I've got less snow here. I'll see on the way back down if at this same point, the Icehouse trail is as clean, but this looks nicer. There is a little bit, just a tiny bit of snow or snowflakes. There are just a very tiny bit of snowflakes falling, barely. So watch out for the falling trees. So, yeah, here we go. Yeah, now we're gonna start getting more ice. See, I'm like, now we do, now we don't. So I'm gonna share with you why maybe some of you may be like, you should have your micro spikes on, and others would be no. I don't know that, so that's my whole point. Is most of these things, I'm learning them the hard way. I do listen to folks and I'll read. You are right though. There's nothing like going with somebody who already has experience. I have a couple of friends who do, by the way. Unfortunately this year, they are somewhere else in the country. Oh, I miss them. So, I don't have a chance right now. Why didn't you do it last year? Yeah, I didn't. It will save me trouble. And one of them, he's coming back pretty soon. So maybe next time he will take me through some of the snowier parts. Because I have also always wanted to do some hiking in the actual snow. You know, the kind where you actually need an ice axe to arrest your stops. Maybe I can take Cucamonga Peak in heavy snow. Ooh, I did it. I don't know if you'll see some. If you look at some of my past videos, I actually showed you one where I tried it once, nearly got killed because Cucamonga, after it snows, right now, that's what we're gonna go see. The trail probably isn't too bad right now. There'll be snow and stuff, but no, after the next storm, it'll be completely impassable because there's a slope after the, what do you call it? The saddle, after the Icehouse saddle. There's, you know how the road, those of you who know Cucamonga, you know that there's this little trail that hugs the side of the mountain there. And that entire trail, at least for the next mile, completely disappears. Because it's part of the slope, you can't tell the trail anymore. Not unless, you know, you've already got it 100%. I know it, and even I couldn't find the trail. Okay, so with 30.01 miles, 1450 ascend, 19 descent, 118.10. And as you can tell, there is a little more snow here now. Oh no, whoa. As I start here, I gotta go slow. Oh, okay, this is kind of soft snow. The thing is, this slope here looks like if I don't pay attention and I slip, I get in trouble. So I will probably be pulling out the poles. The thing is that there are still large sections. It's just that part that got really snowy. But yeah, I think I need to start pulling out the poles. As a matter of fact, I was going to note how interesting it is that here at a lower elevation there is snow. Now, there was a little bit of light rain for about a couple of days ago. So that in other words, to compare the difference between here and Baldy, yeah, the little bit of rain probably drops some more snow. Yeah, I'm paying more attention to the trail than to the camera, so, which I'm sure you would agree makes sense. So here began the snow, the real snow. Cucamonga Wilderness. Okay. Let's keep going. Mile 4, 2809, and we've ascended to 1788, descended 34. Elapsed is 147.00. As you can tell, at mile 4 on Icehouse, we'd already be well past the saddle. Haven't even reached it yet on Chapman. So that should give you an idea. This adds like a mile to your hike. No wonder I didn't take it initially. Although, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world to add a mile to your hike. Unless you're running low on time, which I was kind of starting out to. Because with this extra mile, maybe even a little more, mile and a half more. A mile, remember, an extra mile to your hike is an extra 30 minutes. An extra 30 to 45 minutes. And that means that I will probably be coming down in the dark. Now, those of you who know me know that's quite a regular thing for me. So I thought I'd show you the trail As you can tell, I just spoke with some nice skiers over there, well, hikers, and I explained to them that the trail had been nice for the most part, but now I need my poles. So yeah, this is where I just pulled them out because, yeah, definitely it got pretty gnarly over there. Well, the part over there that I showed you back there, the slope and the trail, that's the part, that's the stuff that actually really scares me, because here you can actually see the trail kind of. There's this like this little ledge. Over there, you can't see it anymore. It just looks like a complete slope. So, but we'll see how bad it gets. But if they made it this way, I'll kind of follow their trail. See? Oh, so we finally rejoined Icehouse Trail, as you can see. What did that do? Add 5 miles. Yeah, 33:44. That snow slowed me down. At that, it's 2:23:05. 21:88.97. So what did that do? Added 2 miles to my trip. No fun. I chose it, I know. There are parts still here where, see, look, I don't need to pick, but then there are parts where I do. One of the things that at least I thought I noticed about using the poles, though, part of the reason that this was the number one reason I've avoided using poles, that is that I've noticed that when I use them, I become less aerobically efficient. What does that mean? Well, if I go up the same slope at the same speed, now I know controlling all the variables is difficult, but I did it a couple of times. And one of the times I did it on a Cucamonga, without snow, of course. Same slope, did it a couple of times for a mile, and I noticed that my average heart rate, controlling for all variables, just going with and without poles, my heart rate would go up an average of about 4, maybe 5 beats. So all things being equal, using the poles brings my heart rate up. Now, I will say one thing. Sometimes it actually allows me to go just a teeny bit faster when I'm going with the poles. As you know about multivariable calculus, that's a different variable. So I didn't control, I did control for that. I didn't test for that. I just tested going at the same speed, same elevation, with poles and without. That was a couple of years ago. I suspect that since I'm fairly aerobically efficient, my VO2 is about 50. For someone my age, that's pretty good. I know for others, it's probably pretty bad. But anyway, for me, that's pretty efficient. I'm bringing this up because I would suspect that folks that are not as aerobically efficient would probably burn even more calories with poles. You don't notice it, because I will say one thing. When you're with poles, you get a little less tired on your legs. So you feel, that's why I said you could sometimes even go a little bit faster. Again, a little bit faster. It's not like you're going to start jogging with them. So, and I say this because sometimes as you're hiking, at least I've also noticed with myself, it's not always my heart that is wearing out, it's my legs. My legs are the weak link. So the poles will help my legs at the expense of my heart, which I guess isn't too bad of a trade-off sometimes. As I said, right now as I'm going up, I can go a little faster, but it will cost me heart rate. Okay, well, let's keep going. Oh. This time it feels like the poles have been driving my heart rate 10 beats beyond what it normally does. It just feels tougher. Well, I mean, my legs don't. My legs can handle, so that actually is true. So here we are at the saddle, and here's a sign. So I'll show you everything here. Now, the two hikers that I passed up told me that they went up Thunder Mountain. So I guess from them, we know that Thunder Mountain is accessible. As you can tell, the snow isn't that bad because one of the times that I actually got here, that sign was like all the way up to the board. So here's the trail to Cucamonga. I don't know if I would do it. I'm headed that way. To me, it looks like it's not as bad as it was the last time, but it's still kind of bad. I'd have to go very slow. Hell, Ontario looks hard to figure out, but looks like there's some feet here, so that's always good. So that's where we're going. When I started, I even thought maybe if I have enough time, I'll even head for Bighorn Peak, the peak beside it. But no, that detour to Chapman added almost 2 miles. It's 5.65, as you can tell there. 565, 2662, 97, elapsed 242.00. Okay, so we are at mile 6, and that is 6.01, 27.26 ascent, 123 descent, 254.34. This trail is kind of visible, so it's not that bad. There's a lot of fresh powder, so you'll be stepping in a bit. It's not that bad, but still. My concern right now is just, like I said, just to make sure it doesn't get worse as a trail. I'm hoping this is because this is the north-facing slope, and that's all. Once I get over there to the Kelly camp, I'm hoping it improves and I'll make it. Now, the other thing I need to also keep in mind is this is slowing me down a lot. And once again, I may not make it back until it's very dark. It's a concern. Whoa, now I'm post-holing. Look at that. Okay, let's keep going. Very windy, but here we are at Kelly Camp. Okay, let's keep going. Up, 196 down. 42:20. Oh, that was the toughest mile so far. Mostly because I've been both going up and post-holding through this snow. Oh, I still got another mile. I thought it might get a little better because once I get close here, there will be more sunlight, but it doesn't seem to me make a difference. Oh well. Oh my God, there it is. Ontario. Oh, it feels like it's taken forever to get there. It's just that all of this, almost all of this entire trail. Yeah, I know. I should have. I guess that's what snowshoes are for. Yeah, it's a lesson. But not up here. The other thing that makes it so punishing is that I know I'm gonna reach by dark, but at this moment I don't care. I don't care anymore because dark is not that bad compared to getting frostbite on my feet. They're wet. Although, you know what? Stepping through this stuff, oh my God. Even going downhill is probably going to be a workout and a half. Okay, so we're at 8 miles. And that's 38:04 up, 3:52 down. Elapsed 4:26:12. Like forever. Turning back now. Look at the little animal tracks. I even seen some bear tracks. Okay. Let's keep going. Oh my God. Oh, I can't begin to tell you what this feels like. Oh, to actually make it to Ontario Peak! Peak! Oh yeah! Oh, let me make it up here and be careful about it. Oh my God. I can actually feel the sun warming me just a little bit. But look at that. Look at the view. Mount Baldy was higher, but this is tougher. Here's the other mountains, not nearly any snow. San Gabriel, that'll be next. This little one, is this Sugarloaf? I'm not sure. I know it's in that direction, but over there is Cucamonga. And in the distance, you can see Santiago and Modjeska. And the old tree. Oh my God. This was just, oh my. The thing is, the difficulty was hard to overstate. Some of it of my own doing. Yeah. And I want to take a little break, but my feet are frozen, and I think I need to keep moving. So I'll take just a little break though. I need that. I don't think I'll freeze if I... The sun feels warming actually, that's the thing. And the wind, which is unusual. The peaks are always windy. What's up with this place? You can hear the wind in the distance. It's been beating me up for a while. Oh well, I don't know. I'll catch you in a bit. So I'm gonna take a little, took my shoes off just to be able to see if I can get a little bit of that snow off of them. Like I said, it feels a little warm, although maybe it's not. You know, I mean, there's snow here. The rocks, they feel warm. What are they, like 50 degrees? They would probably otherwise be super cold, but compared to all the cold I've been in, they feel warm in comparison. Wow. I still think I can only take a 5-minute break, and then I got to get out of here because I still need to be cautious of the cold. So, excuse me if I'm a little too boogery, but that's what happens when you spend all day in the cold. As you can tell, we've finally gotten back, and oh my God, I am so relieved. This snow feels like a walk in the park compared to the absolute torture that I was getting back there. Oh my God. There's miles and miles and miles of endless post-holing. Yeah, should have brought my snowshoes. Well, first I should have bought them. There. You saw that already. But here we are, back again. Ready to get out of here. Oh, wow. This has just been... This was harder than Baldy. The thing is, well, each one has its challenge. Oh. There you go. So it says that we are at mile 11. That's 4192 ascend, 1682 descent, and that's at 6:36:08. And as you can tell, it's going to set. Sun's going to set in about, I think, 40 minutes. So, which I'm fine with that. Right now, after having spent all those hours up there in that stuff, this just feels like I'm in a spring garden. Just like when I was at the top and I was on that rock. It felt warm. Although, after I sat there for a little while, it started feeling cooler and cooler and cooler. You learn new things. If you're lucky enough to survive them, which so far it looks like I have. Now my nearly frostbitten feet can start to get a little bit of relief. They're not really gonna frostbite them. Now I wasn't sure actually, but I went through all of that. I can still feel all of my toes. I'm wiggling them. Good thing about these shoes. Anyway, I can wiggle them. They're definitely unhappy, but I can feel everything about them, so there's not a problem there. But like I said, I think that my saving grace is just the intensity, because I am cooking from the inside. From in here, inside of all this stuff, I'm cooking. And a lot of it just is the intensity, just my workout, which is hard. All that's even coming down, I was getting my butt kicked, because I don't know if you've known, but I've heard of a number of people who've going through longer than this, though. This isn't, but some people have gone through like 10, 12 miles of just post-holing snow, and they end up getting rhabdomyolysis. So if those of you who don't know, rhabdomyolysis is where your muscle starts breaking down into your blood. It can often be a fatal condition, because if too much muscle breaks down, first of all, because it starts to become a chain reaction, and where if enough rhabdo starts to happen, it all breaks down. Well, not all of it, but a lot. And the problem there is that if a lot of it breaks down, it poisons your kidneys, so you suffer kidney failure. And that's if you survive. Plenty of people die. I will put a little bit of information about rhabdo, because although I know I might be making some mistakes, so if there's any corrections, I will add them there for you. Excuse my brain, but right now it's both cooking and frozen. Okay, let's keep going. We have just crossed 13.03 miles, and that's 41.92 up, 31.86 down, and that's in 7:31:40. So, as you can tell, we just passed the big rock and the sign that says Cucamonga Wilderness. And you can see that there is more snow on this side, which, I mean, kind of makes sense, but still, it's good to confirm, you know. If you remember, when I was up there on Chapman, there wasn't really hardly any snow except for a few parts that were in the shade. So, you know, the shade really makes a lot of difference with how much snow there's going to be. The sun set about 10 minutes ago, so we are on borrowed time here. So instead, let me just be brief and say that this way, the way down is what feels easy compared to the brutal trek to Ontario. So, see, my brain's not working. Yes, but this is still tough. I'm tired. My legs are low. And yeah, I'm using the poles, of course. In part because it helps me. And actually, I did notice I have to give them a hand, because I do use them. I think sometimes I resist under certain circumstances, but once it comes to my safety, no. Like here, this snow is a bit slippery because it's low. So like you see that is slippery. And so with that, I will, of course, be safer and use the poles. Right now, I'm going a little slow because I'm walking with them on one side, which is not as good as walking with them on both sides. But other than that, you know, the house. I am beaten up. Is this harder than Baldy? Baldy has more intense parts, without a doubt. This one has more miles, as you saw. And then all that post-holing. As a matter of fact, some of the intensity in that post-holing was just as bad as at Baldy, man. I was really just eating it up there. It was absolutely wicked. So it feels like this was like 3 hikes too. So that was an interesting thing. It was 3 hikes. The Chapman, which was a nice trail, very pretty trail. Oops, slippery. And then there was the trek to Ontario. And then this return trip. Tired, but at least now we're about 1.5 miles from the destination. So I guess this will be, yes, it must be. It's going to need to be, because this stuff is getting slipperier every time, as you can see. So I'm going to sign off for now, and I'll catch you at our destination. We are back. We survived all of that. Oh, that was tough. Let's get out of here. Okay, so now it's time to summarize the hike. And first off, I'd like to say the Chapman Trail was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was awesome. It was well cared for. And I like that it didn't have any snow, or hardly any snow, in comparison to the regular Icehouse Trail. Of course, it does add 2 miles to your trip. So you will probably want to plan to take it rather than do it by surprise, because nobody wants to be surprised with extra miles. Well, I didn't. I mean, just plan for it. As a matter of fact, considering that Chapman was so different from the other parts, I could almost treat this as if it were 3 different hikes. The Chapman Trail, then from the Icehouse Saddle to Ontario and back. Whew. That was like a long march to China. Oh my God, that was brutal. And then from the Icehouse Saddle back down the normal trail, that was almost a walk in the park in comparison. So that was just 3 different ways to look at it. So that was interesting, and of course the wonderful different environments in each of the different places. So that is cool. As a matter of fact, it opened my eyes to the idea that there is so many different kinds of snow. Just on this one hike, we have the light snow that's just kind of sprinkling and just a bit, barely noticeable. Then there's the slippy snow. So that's like near where the bodies of water, where the streams, or just where the snow is at the lower levels on the Icehouse Trail. There was a lot of it, and it was very slippery and very treacherous. That was probably the worst snow, at least in terms of, being scary. There's the icy stuff, which is when the snow kind of starts to compact and it gets a little solid. You can step on it. You can, as long as you are careful, it's not too slippery. Then there's powder. And the powder, of course, can be either small or big. And it's the big stuff that got me. And that, as a matter of fact, makes me wonder, to those of you who want to do these long trails, what do you do? Do you bring crampons, micro spikes, and snowshoes? Where do you carry all that stuff? I don't know. At least for me, the poles with all of this stuff, they really helped. And that's something that, although I have some practical reasons for why I don't use poles that much, some of my reasons are emotional, and I need to get over that, and I will. So I'll be using them more often. So other than that, of course, the elevation differences, as you noted, here at 6,000 feet, we already had snow, whereas at Baldy, 7,000 feet, and barely started, which probably has to do with its north and south facing, probably other factors. But other than that, this was an awesome hike, and as long as you have the experience and respect the danger, I do recommend you try it. And as I always say, don't forget to challenge yourselves.